we have asked that wherever possible, those people in offices, those people who are working, should actually try and work at home.
When it comes to working from home, and I believe that this will become the norm. We've seen big corporates like Twitter announcing that some of the staff, all of the staff will now be working from home.
Don't give work actually your best as opposed to if you were in the office. So given a choice right now, I would like a calmer, a more conducive working environment for me to be able to concentrate at work. Because again, your KPIs don't change just because you're at home.
My biggest challenge, I would say, working from home was actually learning to work from home. And it really calls for a lot of discipline, and personally I have learned to get ready in the morning as if I'm going to work.
Cut-off points and boundaries between my personal life and work, and working from home has definitely blurred those lines. So it's something you have to consciously pay attention to and create the right boundaries.
Clearly, a significant number of Kenyans are finding it difficult to work from home. Has this created a niche that the hotel industry is ready to tap into? To take us through this discussion is none other than the General Manager of Saruva Panafric, Mr. David Gasharu. Welcome and thank you for your time.
Certainly. So let's start from the people we've just described. Yes, they are out there. They are not doing any. They are trying their best to work from home. There are disturbances, and you can't avoid them. When you're with the family, you have to be the family. So when do you isolate time for work, time for family? It calls for a lot of discipline. So we've seen a niche, let's start from there. But at the same time, we have also seen that by repurposing our rooms to make them user-friendly to our followers, the customers who have been with us, we are making our staff engaged in creating that environment. We are making the hotel busy, and we are also making sure that the government does not lose an industry. So yes, it's a niche, but also it's covering more than just looking at it from a business point of view.
What does repurposing of these spaces actually mean?
What it means is we don't have customers coming to stay with us, but we have the rooms. As I said, the facility is operating. The investment is there. So what we do with these rooms, we realize that there are challenges working from home, but we can create the same for our customers. They work from the rooms where they can get stable Wi-Fi, they can get water, they can get anything they need. It's all within easy reach. And they can also go to the restaurant and dine, or even dine from the same working space. So we've created those spaces as working spaces, but if they want to stay overnight, the same room can be used for overnight. So it's using the room just not for accommodation, but as a working space. In addition to this, remember, the restaurants are open, so their customers can come and meet them here. So the same thing they were doing in the office can happen here.
So who is your primary target in this initiative?
First and foremost are those customers who have been with us, our loyal customers. But at the same time, you see, as a business, we are looking for any potential person who, as a guest, who would want to come and use the space. So we are open to all our customers. We've been targeting everyone.
With the current COVID situation, we've had government lay down some measures, issue of social distancing, and the spaces that we need to look out for, and sanitization. Yes. So when you say that you're converting, or rather repurposing the space that you have, the rooms that you have, is there a limitation to the number of people that can be in a room at a certain time?
So one room is one person, but remember, it's a room that can accommodate 2 people. So if 2 people want to meet, they can. But for now, we've purposed it for one person having a working space. If they need to be more, we have conference rooms which you can open for them.
Other than that, do you think that this will keep the hotel doors open, given that we've had a suppressed demand, with the travel restrictions? We do not have conferences as often as we did.
Quite honestly, the industry needs to be vibrant for businesses to be sustained. The running costs of a hotel are enormous. They are huge. So this may not keep us, long enough to survive.
Nairobi has hosted a myriad of successful international conferences. People are now traveling because of COVID-19. Then what does this mean for the MICE industry, given that you are an integral player as a hotelier within the Nairobi CBD? And what impact is the adoption of technology, teleconferencing? We're having interviews on webinar and many other software. How is this going to affect the MICE subsector going forward?
You see, numbers bring in money, but when you are doing it electronically, you may not necessarily be bringing in that income to the country or to the individual businesses. So in the long run, job losses will be there. Businesses will close down for sure, because there are those businesses that depend on the MICE industry, not just the host. Those ones for sure are depending on people. There's something in people coming to a country as opposed to communicating with them, because the only cost of doing business electronically is the cost of that communication, and maybe the cost of preparing the materials, which is minimum. So this is not good for the industry, it's not good for the country.
The current COVID-19 disruptions, from where you sit, what gaps has it brought forth? What gaps has it shown, especially in the hospitality industry? Okay,
we still pay the 16% like anybody else. Can we lower it for the industry? I know that might be a bit of a challenge, but look at it from the point of view of passing on the benefits to the customer. Right, that's one. Again, also, the kind of taxes that we pay for small licenses which are not necessary. I think that is a problem. But first of all, take care of the customers who are coming in. Make it easy for them to go to the national parks without charging them. We know the national parks have to also survive, but they will not survive if the people are not going there. They will survive as just wild places. But they need, we don't have to tax people so much to go to those parks.
Is the local hospitality industry ready to tap into the domestic market?
We depend too much on tourists from out there. And in reality, when you think of domestic market, we are weekend people. You can have your hotel out there, but it's only up to maybe Saturday, Sunday when people travel there. The rest of the time they are trying to make their ends meet. They are working. In between, if they want to go for a conference, they would come to the hotels. And now with the limitation of numbers, a hotel like this one was accommodating, the biggest room could accommodate, say, 300. Now by looking at social distance, we are talking about 50 people. We need to have so many of those meetings for that to happen. But you see, everybody has tightened their budgets. So again, the issue of them coming for conferences out here is also a challenge.
Now, July marks the high season for the local hospitality industry, rather the tourism sector in general. What are your plans as a hotelier from where you sit? What are your plans to tap into this high season? It might not be high as we expect, but what are your plans ahead of the high season?
So in Nairobi, we don't have seasons as such. When we have MICE, that is when our high season becomes affected positively. So our plan is to keep doing what we are doing, repurposing the hotel, ensuring that we give the best services that we can to the people who are coming here, keep everybody happy, and meet our obligations, pay the taxes from the little that we are getting. And as I said, I wish there's a way of reducing it, and keep going, because until the real travel starts, there might not be anything much to look forward to, but we'll keep on innovating.
So what do you think about the 5.6 billion shillings that have been allocated to the tourism sector, to just as an economic stimulus as the government continues just opening up the economy?
First, we understand the condition we are all in, the government included, but if we are specific on hotels, one hotel can take as much as $1 billion, $2 billion plus to upgrade only. So when you look at that money divided into the number of hotels we have in this country, it's not enough. The only way is to look at the areas where we get hurt by the taxes, by when you want to do, make it easy for us to upgrade slowly. Yeah? But in terms of that money being distributed to the leaders is hardly enough.
Now, we've talked about hotel industry tapping into this niche that is coming up, the issue of repurposing spaces, targeting people who are working from home. Do you think that this is going to catch on in the future?
This is something that will continue. What I see is that social distance will stay for a long time. Obviously, I'm not talking about where people believe that the world is normal, because it's going to change. But for people who purposely want to come to the hotel, the social distance will be there. The new normal will continue for a long time. And people will see this as a new way of doing business. You come to the hotel, you stay there overnight, you still can meet all your customers, and then you go home having done your business. So instead of wondering what to do with a project, you come and do it in the hotel.
Recommendations for the sector post-COVID.
So the recommendation is that we really have to move fast to encourage innovation in this industry. Also innovation in the government, that they know necessity has taken us to a point where we have to think of how we make the locals travel and also make the international customers come back to our country when the world opens. Because that is the only way we will keep away this cost or lower.
David Gashura, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Regina.
Clearly, the hotel industry is evolving with the current COVID issues. But going forward, what does the future hold for Kenya's hotel industry? Jimmy, what's your take going forward for the Kenya's hotel industry?
First of all, thank you, Regina, for this opportunity. These are very extraordinary times that we're facing. Who would have ever thought that the whole world would be in some kind of lockdown? But here we are. And in extraordinary times, hotels have to adapt to the new realities. So the new realities, or the new normal, will see hotels operating in a very different way. Obviously, areas around hygiene, sanitation, safety are going to be very, very important. Making sure that we rebuild trust and confidence with our staff. We want our staff to feel safe. We want them to enjoy what they're doing, and in the process make sure that they keep our guests happy. We want our guests to enjoy their stay regardless of what the purpose of their stay is, and have a memorable experience with us. Of course, innovation is going to be very, very important. We have to become a lot more innovative. As we've seen during this COVID period, many people have been consuming a lot of online activity. So for us, technology is going to be very, very important, using things like augmented reality, virtual reality, to give our customers a full view of what they're buying, being able to engage with them before the buying process, during the buying process, and thereafter. So obviously there'll be a lot of new measures that will be put in place. Social distancing will be very, very important, around restaurants, around conferencing facilities. But we are ready, we are prepared. Hotels generally have very, very high standards in health, sanitation, and safety, but these will be enhancing measures, deeper cleaning measures, using hospital-grade approved cleaning materials, PPEs in the different areas. So we'll definitely be adapting to the new normal, and that's how we will make sure that we rebuild confidence and trust with our staff and with our customers.
There you have it. If you're finding it difficult to work from home given the current COVID situation, the hotel industry is changing with the times, and they're repurposing their spaces to ensure that you have a safe environment conducive enough to work from. I'm Regina Manyara. You're watching KBC Channel 1 Business.